And good morning. This is RJ Magayanes of Sweat Life Boxing. Also the PE teacher at Westlake Elementary and Woodrow Wilson Elementary School in Daly City, California. Back at it with another video of PE at home for your elementary school kids. Today I got my wonderful assistants, Woodrow's very own, America's Score's very own, Romeo, who is in the 2nd grade, and Emma, who is in the 5th grade. And today we're gonna break down the squat. A lot of you guys may know, and a lot of you guys may do it, your squat form is terrible. Mine is too. So is Emma's. Okay? We are going to break down the mechanics of a squat, and I'm going to give you a helpful tool of a squat. So when I tell my kids, okay, when we go over squats for the very first time, we always tell them to keep their feet apart, about hips width. Okay? Another thing is I tell them to keep their hands out. And one thing I tell them is to imagine that they're holding a pot of hot water on top of their hands. Okay? Reason why I tell them that is it helps them keep their back upright. Reason being is a lot of us bend over at the hips and do not actually squat down. So you guys can see it with your kids or even with yourselves is when we squat, we tend to do this. Bending at the hips, back is over. Look what happens to the pot of hot water. It spills. Reason why I tell them to keep their hands out is for that pot of hot water so they keep it parallel to the floor. You see that by simply just saying keep your arms out and hold that pot of hot water, ball, whatever it may be, hold it out. The other thing that we need to catch with our kids or even with ourselves is our knees collapsing inwards, okay? One thing you'll see a lot is when kids get to squatting is their knees collapsing in. This is not a proper squat. It does not focus the proper targets and actually it's just bad form and causes bad habit. What I tell my kids is to keep their knees over their feet, okay? Imagine that they're shooting their knees out. So instead of here, it now becomes here. Okay? Instead of here, now becomes here. I also tell my kids, one thing they mess up at is sometimes they sit a little bit too low. Right? They'll go all the way down and then just come all the way up. I want to tell my kids to sit down on their pretend chair. Okay? Here and up. Right? Also, one thing you need to catch is their feet flat on the floor because for these exercises, they need to drive from the heels. Heels. Okay? So I tell them to keep their feet on the floor, feet flat. Okay? It prevents them from going on their tippy toes, which is a whole different exercise. One thing you can do. One thing you can do, one tool that you can do with your kids is to help them to keep their back flat, okay, is this. I'm going to step to the side, go sideways, get in the squat position. No, all the way up, okay. And straight out, okay. One thing you'll notice is sometimes their shoulders will curl forward. And, and just naturally when the shoulders move forward, the body might move forward. I always tell the kids to roll their shoulders back. It helps them keep them upright. Another tool you can do is with a stick. This is just from a broomstick that I detached from our broom right here. To help them understand the concept of keeping your back flat and keeping your bottom straight down on these squats is one thing they could do is they could hold a stick behind their back like this. One up like this and take this arm and grab the other way. So this tool will tell them if they're doing a squat properly or not because they want to keep the back nice and flat and the stick always touching their body. Okay, so squat down, Emma. See the stick going and up. See the stick going nice up and down, up on their own. Okay, if she was doing it wrong, if she leans forward, go lean forward and squat. The stick is that way and up. And you can catch it with your kids too. So boom, down, and up. Driving from the heels. Okay, down again and up. Thank you. All right, you guys, squat position. Okay, here's the setup. I always tell my kids to set up before they do anything else. They want to make sure their toes are facing forward and it's just a little bit outside of the hips. As you can see, Romeo here, he's going to spill that ball. He's going to spill that hot water, so he wants to hold it up. I always break down the movements before they actually do it on their own. So I'll tell the kids to go down, they'll hold the squat down position, sitting on their pretend chair, and up, and they'll count. Driving from the heels, back straight, keeping the arms straight out, shoulders rolled back. So let's try it. When I say up, you come up and count. Ready, down. Up. A little bit too low, Emma. Romeo, not low enough. Look forward. Down. Up.
2.
Down. Up.
3.
Down. Emma not spilling her water. She going a little bit too low. Up.
4.
Down. A little bit too low, Emma. Up.
5.
One more for good measure. Down. Up.
6.
And thank you. And that is basic squats. Okay, I like to keep the reps low, meaning how many times they do it. And eventually we could start doing it on their own, where they're doing squats on their own. And thank you. Say bye, kids.
Bye.
Cool guy.